What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another episode of Right on Cue Podcast. I'm your host, Logan Chestnut, Small Batch Barbecue. Joining me tonight, as always, my barbecue brother, Mr. AJ Johnson of the Norella Barbecue. Mr. AJ, you got the Shooter McGavin stuff, man. That's Houston's thing. We got to get your own little call signal, cha-chang or
I just gotta keep them like this.
You be the Charlie's Angel, just whoop-haw. That would be funny. We get all of us on here. We all open the video like this. I was like, whoo.
Too wild, man.
Dude, I'm stupid. No, man, how's it going this week, man? 4th of July week, short week. Hopefully for everybody. Hopefully your boss isn't a communist and makes you work, but celebrating freedom, America.
That's right.
Yeah. America. I'm screaming it all week, just America. Nah. Dude, I'm this is the part of summer where I get I don't know. I feel like after the 4th, it all just goes downhill for me because it's hot and I'm fat, and we just don't blend well. And then sports that I love, like football, basketball, all that stuff, that's not playing anymore. I got baseball, but that shit puts me to sleep. I guess we got soccer, but
we don't got long before football season.
I know. I'm excited. I'm actually Titans. Everybody's hating on my Titans, but we spent some money this year, man. We spent a little money in Kentucky. I'm excited. We got Texas and Oklahoma coming into the SEC.
There you go.
That's gonna make tailgates real fun.
Oh yeah, can't wait. Show them what the SEC is about.
Me and my friends are talking about going to the Kentucky Texas games at Austin this year, and I'm like, depending on what seats we get, I got some friends that work for the oil industry, and we're like, if they can get us really good seats, I said, hey, I'll be a whore. I will straight up wear Texas. I'll wear Texas the uniform all day.
Everything.
I'll be like a high school girl going out on a date. I'll wear the Texas uniform or outfit, when I'm there. But as soon as I leave the house, I'm taking it off and I'm wearing my Kentucky gear. Because that's how you do it, man.
That's how you do it.
Nah, man, you've been practicing. You've been slinging your meats.
Man, I've just been just kicking around the house. I ain't been practicing nothing. I'm just kind of resting. I'm gonna have to freshen up for next weekend when we go to Chevyville.
I know.
What about you?
No, I haven't done snap. I haven't done nothing. I got my new pit. Thank you, Brockhouse Smokers. Check out Brockhouse Smokers for
nice.
Dude, that thing is sick. And I love the grate on it. It's kind of, I'll use a pizza screen for my chicken. And It kind of has that feel already. It's heavy industrial and it's nice.
There you go.
Yeah, because those pizza screens, they cost me some money.
Oh yeah,
I don't like washing dishes. I just throw them away.
They are awful. That's the worst thing to wash. I think I wash mine outside because it's so messy, man. It's just
you can't do it after 1 or 2. You can't do it.
Yeah, you just throw it away and get a new one. Yeah, it's awful.
What's up, Buzz? All right, man. Well, hey, we are kicking off the month of July with it's food truck, man. We always talk about competition barbecue, but there's many facets to this beautiful hobby we call barbecue, and we want to highlight that with a rock star kicking it off big, Miss Chrissy Hutto. She'll have to correct me on that. The Smokin Texan out of Georgia. This girl is kicking ass and taking names. She's like Duke Nukem with all out of bubble gum. But all right, man. Well, without further ado, let's bring on Miss Chrissy. How you doing, Miss Chrissy? What's going on, girl?
How are you guys?
Pretty good.
On. We got to put the talent up there. There we go.
There you go.
Hey guys.
What's going on, Chrissy? Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. You are slinging meats currently, am I right? You are waiting to make deliveries. We are holding her business up, fellas.
You're not holding my business up. I turn the smoker off for a minute, have everything in the warmer. But yeah.
That's right.
Hopzilla today.
That's right. She got to hang out with us guys today. So man, she's taking a little break, a little siesta from it. But man, Chrissy, let's talk about it, man. Let's jump right in. Can you tell us a little about how the Smokin Texan came to be and what inspired you to start a food truck?
The Smokin Texan came to be January of 2022. I was in fine dining before this, and I was actually working at a restaurant as a pit master, running a J&R Manufacturing Little Red Smokehouse, and I was doing that for a while. And then, you get these bosses that treat you like shit and talk down to you and just make you feel awful.
Yeah.
This one day, I called my best friend and his wife, and which is also my best friend, both of them, and I was bitching, and it's like, I can't fucking keep having these guys talk down to me, telling me, what a piece of crap I am, and I'm like, screw this, I'm gonna go off and do it my own. And so they actually helped me start the business. I designed my own logo, the redheaded pinup. I designed that myself. There's a whole story behind that. I grew up outside of a Navy base down in Corpus Christi, Texas, Naval Air Station. So my grandpa used to take me to watch all the naval air shows. We went to go see all the bombers. He was an aviation ordnanceman, so he used to load the ammo onto the bombers.
Badass.
He was also a helicopter gunner and riverboat gunner in Vietnam. So I grew up with a lot of that military background and the pinups on the bombers. And so when I originally started the company, I was like, fuck, everybody's got a pig, a cow, a fucking cleaver. Just like, it's just typical shit. And I was like, well, if it's going to be me, I want to make it me. So my grandma was a redhead. And so I kind of combined both my grandparents and put my tattoos on her.
There you go.
Created my own logo. And I really wanted to bring what I grew up on here in Georgia, because I was very homesick. You can't find, I grew up close to the border of Mexico. So like Mexican barbecue.
There you go. Orderly.
Yeah, you can't find that shit up here in North Georgia. So I was like, I'm just going to do my own thing. And everybody quickly fell in love. And I went from, working out of my kitchen at home to a 10x10 tent, doing events and competitions. And then I worked my way up into a restaurant. That didn't work out. So then I had to start over back at the beginning, back out of my house to a 10x10 tent. And then I sold tamales out of my house.
Flipping tamales. That's what I'm talking about.
Love tamales.
Until it took me 9 months, and I raised the money and bought the food truck January 1st. So 6 months ago. I did my first event in the food truck in March, and we're full speed. I got a great crew. I love my crew. It's very veteran based, so I hired retired veterans, retired police officers, stuff like that.
Nice, man. That's awesome. So what smoke are you cooking out of? Like what equipment are we working with?
I have a lot. Kind of collection. On the food truck itself, it's an offset. It can hold, so there's 8 racks. Each rack can hold 4 to 5 briskets or 8 to 10 butts. And then there's 8 racks. So it can fit quite a bit. And then I also have an offset tow behind, which is about the size of a car. That's Hogzilla. And then I have a whole hog direct coal smoker, also tow behind, so I can take it to competitions. And then I got the electric smoker, the acorn smoker. I did have a J&R, but I don't have that anymore. So, but that's all of them.
That's it. That's all
right.
right.
Hogzilla. So
I like it.
That's what I started the business off of, was Hogzilla.
Awesome.
I got you, man. Well, that's funny. Like all of us barbecue guys, it's like how many grills you got? I'm like, oh, don't ask that.
Yeah, don't ask that.
Well, we don't want to. It's like, we don't talk numbers here, okay? How
many more are we about to get?
Yeah. No, it's like I tell my wife this all the time. It's like, what do you mean you want another smoker? I'm like, honey, it does something completely different. Like, look at this, man. This one is this kind of metal. It's purple. Yeah. This one's purple. That one's black. So there's 2 different proteins on this one.
There's there's one that I really, really want right now. It's a beautiful fucking like forest green, but kind of like you would see on a motorcycle with like the glitter kind of throughout the green.
You got the bass paint job.
Boy smoker, but it's a drum smoker, and then right in the fucking grate is a Texas cutout.
Nice.
That's gonna be my next one.
When I hit the lottery, I'm getting that. I'm getting the Gateway giant drum just to show off.
Just to have it. I can. Can you imagine, AJ,
I may buy you if I had the Powerball. I'm gonna buy you one of those smokers, and you just watch Pearl's face when you show up to your backyard. Hey, honey, I know you wanted a pool, but we have a smoker now.
Yeah, we got a smoker. Check this thing out. This thing cook a whole hog. Check it out.
That's right.
That would be awesome. You pull up the contest with that, cook ribs on it. That'd be awesome.
2 meats. That's my That's my chicken cook.
My chicken drum. That'd be wild. But man, that is awesome, man. Barbecue is, such a fan favorite in the South. Pretty much everywhere you go, you got a barbecue, just like you got Dollar Generals. But what are some of the challenges you face running a food truck compared to like running a restaurant?
One of the biggest challenges is everything that can go wrong. Yes, you have that in a restaurant as well. But in a restaurant, you're more in a controlled environment. You have a bigger staff. You have the air conditioning. With the food truck, you have everything that can go wrong with the generator. You have everything that can go wrong with towing it and getting it there. It's harder when you have a smaller staff and somebody doesn't show up. It's not like you have a huge thing that you can bring in, a huge crew that you can bring in. I have, thankfully, 2 retired police officers that I just hired that are fucking rock stars. I love, and then I don't have to worry about. But right now, my biggest challenge is my smoker or my food truck is 25 feet long. It's a tow behind trailer. It's 14,000 pounds. You have to have sway bars to tow it. And I'm doing everything alone. So I got a, F-250 diesel truck that I haul it with. And
nice.
I had to teach myself how to hook it up. I had to teach myself how to put those sway bars on. I had to teach myself how to fucking just get it uphill and to events, especially when I'm going really far away. And I'm in North Georgia, so you're in windy mountains, and this thing's 14,000
mountains, right?
Yeah. So
I got you. So what? And Lord, I'm sure Georgia's just as hot as we are up here. So you don't have AC on this thing? You going Amish style?
It's got AC, but that smoker is on the back porch, and it's huge, and it's foreign, and it's it really doesn't help.
Right.
And then we're in Georgia. I do have like 2 awnings that come out on the truck, so it kind of helps shade the truck a little bit.
Right.
But you're just running a generator. Mine takes about 9,000 running watts, and it just really doesn't cut through the steam table, the cooking equipment, the smoker, 3 people on the truck. I do put a floor fan in there to kind of help with it, but
yeah. Do you have a hard time like moderating temps on your smoker? Because you run a stick burner or what?
Burner always. Stick burner or direct coal. But
I got you. If you're running a stick burner, I bet that does get smoldering hot back in like July, August. That's
generally
what gives you that barbecue body. You get that barbecue body, man. You don't need those Ozempic. You got barbecue body, man. You're sweating to the oldies back there.
Yeah.
Built by barbecue.
Usually when I get off of work though, and I get off the truck and I'm just drenched and covered in brisket fat and smoke and sweat, and then I go home, I stop by the store or something, and I'm going through the grocery store, I'll walk past a guy or anybody walking past me like, God damn, you smell good. And I'm like, it's just that sweat and brisket fat.
That's right.
That's my musk. I had that musk about me. It's just barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's barbecue.
Girl, you don't need perfume, Victoria's Secret. No, you stand next to a smoker. That's all you need.
You need hickory.
Heavy hickory. What kind of wood are you using on your stick burner? Did you use heavy
oak and hickory?
Oak and hickory. So did you ever mess with any of the fruit trees or like apple or pecan?
Cherry.
No, and honestly, I wouldn't even be using hickory if I wasn't in Georgia.
It's just so easy to find.
I'm from South Texas. I grew up on just straight mesquite.
Oof.
And that's what I prefer is just straight mesquite, not mixed with anything. But I can't, unfortunately, get it up here.
That would be a little pricey. Yeah.
I've asked my brother. My brother just cleared out like 100 acres of mesquite, and I was like, "Hey, will you tow that up here?" And he's like, "No."
No, not a lot of mesquite in Georgia, but I mean, pecan's pretty common down there. I heard, and Oh, Post Oak. I mean, you can't go wrong with Post Oak.
Yeah, I use
Nope.
Post Oak.
Yeah, but no. So what? Like in the state of Georgia, I'm curious because I mean, you're living the dream of most all the barbecue people. Everybody, like guys like me and AJ and other competitors. Like, I mean, we talked to Drew about this from Razor Racks. It's like we'd be lying to you if we didn't think like one day down the road I'd like to make a living off barbecue. Can you give some of our viewers or listeners kind of like how's the state of Georgia when it comes to like food trucks? Do they need like a commissary? Do you have to have a commissary to store everything off-site, or like how does that work?
Georgia's pretty strict. It's definitely not like Texas. Texas is very loose with its restrictions when it comes to food trucks. Here in Georgia, you do have to have a commissary kitchen. You have to have a home base. You do have to return to it every night. You can't just take your truck home. It has to be inspected, and then the truck also gets inspected, so they both get inspected. With your commissary kitchen, you have to have your above ground grease trap. You have to have your 3-compartment sink, your mop sink, your hand washing sink, all that stuff. So, I mean, as long as you have like a 10 by 10 space that can get inspected and you have the bare minimum, you can cook on your truck. Like for me, I cook everything on the smoker, so you don't need much. I'm actually moving into what's called Prep ATL here in Georgia. It is the largest commissary kitchen here in Georgia, and it's just for food trucks and then caterers and people who do like rubs and like dehydrated black garlic and sell that in like little containers and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you feel like it costs more to run a food truck than just a regular traditional restaurant?
No, because you have less
overhead's less.
overhead with the food truck. I don't have to run as much staff with the food truck. I don't have to pay myself. I mean, I wish I could pay myself eventually. That's the goal. But I work as a pit master at a country club for all of last year. I was also a pit master at a country club, and then I'd run my food truck on the weekends. That way I was paying myself. But with a food truck, the food cost, you can control your food cost a lot more because you go to an event and you know how many people are going to be there. Or like I do private events. So I know there's going to be 30 people, or I know there's going to be 50, 100, 1,000. So I know exactly how many I need to be cooking for and what to not go home with leftovers. With a restaurant, you have no idea how many people are going to come in and how much food's going to go to waste within that 7-day grace period. You have to get rid of stuff.
Right.
So I'm curious. So like when we talked about Texas, I'm kind of like a fangirl when it comes to like Texas boutique. It's kind of like boutique barbecue, I guess you could kind of call it down there, where it's not a lot of like. I feel like some of the restaurants around here, it's a lot of like show and pizzazz. Like they try to have this big building, and literally some of like the best barbecue in Texas is a little trailer and a smokehouse, and that's it. People line up, and when it's gone, it's gone. Is that kind of what you're trying to do? Is like bring like that Tootsie's kind of feel to it? You know what I mean? Where you're trying to build the hype machine and then sell out every day, or are you trying to like grow and get as big as you want? Do you want to stay small and get the hype, or do you trying to just expand? Or
I don't know how much I really want to grow when it comes to the food truck. My goal is more to do more ambassadorships, more competitions, more things with it come to content creating, TV. That is the ultimate goal. So I'm not on the truck as much. And then for, the foreseeable future, the goal is to get the truck up and running to where I can actually just focus on the smoker and I'm not having to run and go do everything else. But it's one, I keep telling myself it's one speed bump at a time.
Right. Right. I mean, you're definitely, you're in the growing phase right now, and I'm sure you're getting your bumps and bruises and you're trying to figure stuff out now.
Lots of bruises.
Lots of bumps and bruises.
Touch back on what you said when it came to the simple parts of Texas. I want to say one of my favorite places growing up as a little girl, and you will never see something like this here in Georgia. It was right outside of San Antonio. My uncle used to take me, and it was like an old time place that had been around for 100 years. And when you first walked in the door, there's a huge square built out of red brick. and it has 2 metal lids, and they lift it up, and you tell them you want beef, pork, or chicken, and you tell them what you want, and then they'll point to it, and then they say, okay, go sit down. You're like, okay.
I love it.
And then you go sit down, and they have one long continuous table because everybody, there's no separate tables. It's
Family style, right?
Yeah, it's family style. And then when you go to sit down, they rip out a piece of butcher paper, they slap the butcher paper right on the table, and then they slap your barbecue right on that butcher paper, and they keep going. You don't get boats, you don't get anything. You don't get forks and knives. You just get a slab of butcher paper on a picnic table. And it was my favorite place as a little girl.
That's like soup. That's like the soup Nazi of Seinfeld. Like I'm listening. That's like the Texas soup Nazi. Like, what do you want? Chicken, beef? What do you want?
But it's simple. There's no sauce. There's no. You ask for barbecue sauce, they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah.
Everything's dry rubbed. Everything's simple. Salt, pepper, garlic. They keep it simple, but it's some of the best stuff I ever had.
Right. Well. That's funny. It's like that reminds me of there's this burger joint where my hometown. It's called Farrell's, and it's a small little burger place, and they literally have 5 items on the menu, and you can always tell when someone's from out of town. Like, what are you getting? Can I get pickles, onion, lettuce? And all the locals are like, no, they do it one way. This woman, no, she does it one way, and don't ask her to do anything else. She's like, what do you want? Yeah, you're getting what I give you. Here we go.
Yeah.
And it's the best. I think it's the KISS method in life. I think just keep it simple, stupid, and people try to overcomplicate things. And I think if you keep it simple and master the small stuff, I mean, that's the method to success. Man, I'm having a hard time with words. It's bad for this job. But yeah, go ahead, AJ.
I was gonna say, you talked about speed bumps here and there. So, for as the weather, raining and stuff like that, how do you adjust when it's raining and it's hard for does customers still come and order and eat outside, or they just come and go back home with their food, or how do you overcome the obstacle?
So when I really learned to master that first, working out a 10 by 10 tent. I did that for a year. I've had them fly away. I've had them picked up and thrown into my burn barrel. My burn barrel go rolling down the fucking hill. I really went through the ringer first to learn that. But now with the food truck, having 4 walls around me, it's a breeze. Plus I have the awnings. So when I'm at an event, all the other barbecue food trucks, they don't have that basically gigantic umbrella for people to go stand under. So when I'm at an event, people flock to my truck first because they can come stand underneath it. So I'm like, yeah,
nice. So you have an awning. You have an awning on the front of yours, kind of like the barbecue trailers we got, or do you have gold wings?
Gold wings, is in both sides.
Yeah, like flip up, kind of like Lamborghini doors, or do you have
they don't flip up? They just come straight out like an RV on both sides. Okay. Yeah,
that's nice. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I want when I order on the food truck.
Yeah, they are wonderful. But the other thing too is with my food truck and with my food over the last 2 years, I've kind of grown a cult following because I do something different than everyone else, and it makes my life harder, but I have fun with it. So I never serve the same menu. Every time I do an event, I come up with a whole nother menu, and I make it to where there's one item that you can only get at this location, and I make it creative and fun and out of the box. And then I post it, a week ahead of time. And so the people, that have really followed me around, they'll line up 2-3 hours before I even open. I have one guy that drives hours away just to come every single time. I had one lady who drove down from North Tennessee a couple weeks ago. She drove 4 hours away to come.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, dude. But wow. I'll do stuff like that so that guarantees that I sell out. And I know no other truck does that. All food trucks have the same static menu so they can control their food costs, which is smart. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But I have a background in fine dining, and I like to kind of have fun with it. So if I get hired for a specific, like I did a cigar bar, right? So they wanted to have a smoke out, right? And it's all cigars and bourbon. So I would create a menu, and I named it after that business. Or like I did a bourbon, like I'm part of this bourbon group. It's got about 2,000 members. That's called the Cartel, Bin Cartel. So then I did a Bin Cartel burger, and basically I took Wagyu briskets, I ground it down into meat and made Wagyu brisket smash burgers out of it. But then I also took all that Wagyu tallow and I rendered it down, and I sauteed all my onions in that Wagyu tallow, threw on some jalapenos and white cheese, and it's a Cartel burger. And it was like, then I made a what I call a Cartel sauce. It's a kind of like a Thousand Island with sriracha, and make it a little more spicy. Throw that on there, but you can only get it at this event. So when I announced that, and I announced what the special item is going to be and where it's going to be, people will line up 3 hours before I open to make sure that they can get that one item. So
Man, that sounds good.
I can guarantee, even if it's raining, I can guarantee that I have a line that wraps and I'm selling out.
That's awesome. What, like, as you're describing that burger, I'm over here. I'm just like, my belly's getting bigger and my arteries are closing up as the more you're talking. I'm like, this is nice. This is awesome.
But it's so worth it.
It's so worth it. So worth it.
Wagyu tallow is what really does it. So before I take it, the raw Wagyu brisket and grind it, I take all those fat trimmings and I render it down to just pure liquid gold. And when you you take those onions and you cut them really, really fine, and you saute all those onions in that Wagyu tallow, and then you get those crispy edges with the Wagyu. Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so good.
I know it's not barbecue. That's like, none of that was barbecue, but you know.
Hey, yeah, that sounds good. Either way, I'll eat it.
No,
a lot of people see that I do that, and I promote their business as much as they promote my business. So I get called out to a lot of places that they want me to promote their business, and I will create an event, or I'll create an item special to their business. And it, it takes my crowd and my following and brings it into their company, and then vice versa. It takes their crowd and their following and brings it into mine.
Absolutely.
So I do a lot of Harley Davidson events. I do a lot of bourbon events, cigar events, stuff like that.
There you go, man. All that stuff goes well together with barbecue.
Hell yeah.
For sure. So let me ask you a question. So being, a newer barbecue business, and you got to create the hype. I mean, social media plays such an, important aspect in any business nowadays, but with your genre for sure. What do you say is like your secret sauce to building a hype for your social media? Do you have to like constantly remind yourself, take pictures and post, that, because that's pretty much where people kind of follow you, I guess, because you're not stationary in one spot or another, right?
Yeah, I'm not stationary. I move all around, and I do forget to take a lot of pictures that I should be taking, because I'll make some amazing food and then I'll totally forget to take a picture of it. Thankfully, I have staff that will remind me, or they'll do it. And then I have my customers that will do it, and then they'll send it to me so I can post it. But what helps, you can't live without social media, period, right now. I don't care what your business is. You need to be promoting it. And that's what I ask too, if I'm ever doing an event with somebody else, is you need to be promoting that event as much as I'm promoting that event. You know what I mean? We need to work together to do it, because we don't have the same following. You know what I mean? But for me, I will, if I'm doing an event, I post it 2 weeks out. Now, then I'll do it 7 days before, and like as a reminder. But then even then, you remind somebody 7 days before an event, by the time the thing's coming, they've forgot. So you need to, the day before, sit there and push it. And then go live the day of.
Going live is the most important. It's so funny. Like, I sit here, TikToks, I'm bad about TikTok. I'll just go on like a TikTok black hole, you know what I mean? Where you're just like scrolling through, and all of a sudden there's a live, and you're like watching, just people do lives about anything. It's like, I'm here eating a cheeseburger, and I'm like, okay. Like, what am I doing? It's like I'm in a daze. I'm like, It's like watching the funny like animal videos. I'm like 4 hours later, it's like the dog got it. All right, sweet. But
On
no,
TikTok, I get sucked into the funny animal videos, and then
they're the best.
And then there's, I can't remember the name. I watch it every fucking night, but I can't remember the name of it. It's where they sit at a table and they tell dad jokes, and whoever laughs first has to
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
I will get sucked into that every night for hours and just laugh my ass off.
But no, that's why I love when we go to barbecue comps. I'll always try to do at least one live with AJ or myself, and that's probably why AJ does better than me at some of these things. Not always, but does better than me at some of these things because I'm walking around, doing lives and talking to people and trying to,
missed the pork turn in.
That's right. Shut up. You miss one turn in, everybody rides you like a jockey. But social media for any, like you said, for any business is such an important aspect to it. I mean, I think it's almost going to be a standard job for a lot of businesses come in, especially for like food and stuff like that. Like you have a chef, you have a server, you have all this stuff, and then you're gonna need a social media manager.
Like one person to sit there and run your social media, and that is like a goal of mine with the truck.
Yes.
I know I only bought it 6 months ago, and I get so slammed with everything. My phone's blowing up off the hook all the time, and I'm having to run the smoker, and I'm having to do this, and I'm running around with my head cut off every 2 seconds. And I want to hire that one person where I can say, here, take my phone, and you go do this.
Wouldn't that be so nice?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Hopefully somebody younger too that's better with technology.
That's gonna be like high school kids. Back in the day, it's like, oh, you're a babysitter or something like that, or you do trash or something. No, like I want to try to hire like a high school kid for the summer. Like, hey, how'd you like to earn minimum wage to do social media all day?
Yeah.
Like
TikTok, dude. You have a teenager running your TikTok,
killing it.
You're gold.
Killing it.
Gold. That's the thing for shows like this. I mean, it's a must. So I'm not great at it. I'm a good talker, but I'm not a good. I always forget to take pictures and stuff. And that's why one of my partner, he's great at it. But yeah, I've literally thought about hiring a high school kid. I'm like, hey, how would you like to follow me around and just take pictures? That sounds weird.
Yeah, that's it.
Chris Anson's gonna knock on the door. Oh, hi there. I didn't mean it like that. Social media. Sorry, I didn't mean like that. But hire somebody to handle my social page. Moving on.
Yeah, man. Moving on. So we talk about this cartel burger, which sounds awesome. You do special dishes for certain events. What is some of one of your most popular dishes, and what makes them special?
It's hard. The tamales are a huge fan favorite because I only do them twice a year, on Mother's Day and on Christmas. And people will stand in the rain for hours on end, and I can sell 700 to 900 tamales in 30 minutes and be sold out. And
that's a lot.
I sell them for $4 a tamale. I would get shot selling them that much back home because they're like $1 a tamale back home. But I fill mine with smoked meats, and then I wrap them in butcher paper and I smoke them. So I'm extra. So the tamales, people definitely go after those. And then the pork belly lollipops are a huge fan favorite.
Oh, yes.
And then
grab those slowly.
So I take pork belly strips, and I actually used to make my own rub for the pork belly strips, but now I use Ryan Lane's Spellbound. He lives a little south of me. He's a good friend. Ryan Lane's freaking awesome, but his Spellbound is really good on those pork belly lollipops. So I dry rub them, I roll them up into a lollipop, send a skewer through them, and I smoke them to a certain point. It takes about 2.5, 3 hours. And then I make an old-fashioned glaze. So like an old-fashioned bourbon drink. So it's bourbon, orange juice, brown sugar, a little bit of cherries. And then I take those lollipops and I hold them over a pot, and I sit there and glaze and glaze and glaze them until they're these old-fashioned bourbon meat lollipops. And, you go to an event or a fair and you see a guy walking around with this lollipop as big as his head. And
hell yeah.
Where the hell did you get that?
Heck yeah. They coming to
I get one. That's a huge fan favorite. I'll be doing that for Grundle Run this year. So I do a 3-day biker event where I feed over 1,000 Harley Davidson bikers for 3 days straight. Last year I'm the only food vendor. But I would be doing it this year because they a lot of the guys especially requested that this year. But that's a huge fan favorite. The Cartel Burger, and then the Pitmaster. So I won a competition with that one. That one's always requested. That's the one static menu item I have. I change the menu everywhere I go, but I always have the Pitmaster on there because it's what I'm known for. So the bottom bun gets Big Wicks jalapeno glaze. It's a mesquite smoked jalapeno glaze. It comes out of Texas. So a friend of mine makes it, and I have it shipped up. So that's the bottom, and then then you get the smoked pulled pork, habanero mustard barbecue sauce, which I make myself. And then I do a poblano coleslaw with raw poblanos, not cooked poblanos, cut stripped real thin, like the same as cabbage. I cut it the same. So you get the poblano coleslaw, and then I make spicy pickles. And then you get the top bun, and then you get a Texas hot link on the top. So then I have a local butcher make my hot links for me. So it's glazed pork, habanero mustard barbecue sauce, poblano coleslaw, pickles, top lid, and a huge hot link. And it's
that sounds good.
Yeah, they fucking kill that thing all the time.
I can imagine. So let me ask you a question. Something we ask all of our guests. Who's on your meat Rushmore when it comes to your barbecue idols, the people that you look up to or people that's helped you along the way? If you could put 3 or 4 people on a meat Rushmore, who or in general, who would it be?
So Kelly Nevarez at Lavaca Barbecue out in Port Lavaca. She's a female pet master. I really look up to her. She's actually younger than me. She's also way littler than me, so she has to stand on stools to even open her lids, and her dad has to function all these things to open her lids. But I finally got to try her food for the first time back in October when I did my Pitmaster tour. I did a whole Pitmaster tour through Texas, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried eating her food.
Oh wow,
was the best bite of barbecue I've ever had in my life. And then she makes this pork belly candy stuff that she puts on top of a smoked cheesecake with bourbon. So bourbon, candied pork belly, and then she puts the cheesecake on the smoker. And I took one bite and I was like, Jesus.
I'm having a moment over here, guys.
Yeah,
don't mind me.
Her food,
calm down,
bar none, the best I've ever had. And then of course Tootsie. Tootsie was my number one until I ate Kelly's food. But Tootsie and Carrie. So Carrie's a good friend. He's the owner of Snows. But Tootsie, I got to go eat with her. I've idolized her forever.
As do we.
She's the queen.
She is the goat.
That's who I want to be. I don't want to work as hard as her when I'm 87, but
Dude, that lady cracks me up. She's like, I don't need no thermometer. I just put my hand there. What temperature is it? It's like this hot. I'm like, dude, she's so much more badass than us, AJ.
Absolutely.
And she gets there at fucking 3 a.m. She works a full-time job, and I was there at 1 a.m. and sure enough, here she comes, and I watched her go in, and I watched her and Clay come the night before too. Clay and Carrie. But she works her ass off.
Well, yeah.
They all do.
They specialize in what, whole hog down there, right? Is that what she kind of does?
Shoulder steaks.
Yeah.
Pork shoulder steak, yeah.
Pork shoulder steaks. But I guess after that, Ryan Lanes, he's amazing. But I don't know who would be my third. Blood Brothers, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know if you've heard of Blood Brothers.
No, I don't think I have. Are they Texas based?
Yeah, they're Texas based. I got to eat with them at the Southern Smoke Show, and I was about, I want to say 40, 45 pitmasters from all over the United States for the Southern Smoke Foundation. So I got to eat everyone's food. And by far was the best bite. And I kept going back and going back. And they do craft style barbecue, but they're Asian. So they do this Asian flair on it. And they make everything from scratch. Everything. Like nothing store bought.
That's amazing. I'll see. That's the kind of stuff I want to, because all of us here we cook barbecue so much. It kind of the basic stuff is like pulled pork. I can't tell you the last time I had a pulled pork sandwich. I didn't want to eat one. Like, but like I hear stuff like Asian fusion barbecue, or like we were talking about Egyptian barbecue, the food truck down there in Austin. Like, yeah, he's murdering, like James Beard nominee, and like barbecue's starting to get some love, because people think barbecue. I think people think same mundane stuff everywhere. It's just throw a lot of smoke on the meat and that's it. But there's it takes people like you and people like him and people throw their own flair on barbecue. I call it the new age barbecue. That it's kind of reinventing the game.
I think that's why I fell in love with Lavaca barbecue so much when I went back home, because I used to go home back home every single year and eat. And I'm from South Texas, close to the border of Mexico. So Mexican barbecue. And I just hadn't had that in so long. And when I got there, you get jalapenos on the side. She makes that jalapeno cream corn. She's got her smoked tamales. She's got traditional Mexican barbacoa, stuff like that. And it's like, I fell in love. And then when I had Blood Brothers, it was completely different. It's their heritage. It's these people putting their heritage and who they are, but still mixed with traditional, you know what I mean? Mm. And I think that's what makes those places so special.
Hey, did you ever go to Ernesto's place down there, Burnt Bean, when you were doing your pit master?
No, I did not make it to Burnt Bean. I did get to go see my friend Leo at Truth. I went to Chris Snow's, and then I went to Loro, Aaron Franklin's Asian fusion restaurant, to see Willie T. William Tashina. He does competition barbecue like you guys.
I got you. Yeah, it's funny. So when we did our Ode to Texas month, it was a straight across the board. We asked everybody who is their favorite Mexican restaurant, who is their favorite barbecue restaurant in all of Texas, and straight across the board they all said Burnt Bean.
Burnt Bean. Yeah.
That's one's gonna be on my bucket list along with quite a few others. But no, so you have your you live in Georgia, which Georgia has a strong history and heritage of barbecue in itself. What, like, I know your roots are in Texas, but have you thrown any like Georgia flair, like some sweeter stuff on the menu in the Georgia area, like taking little pieces from the area to? I mean, you got to adapt.
Yeah, I do. I don't like to, but I do. So I make collard greens. I did not eat collard greens growing up. I don't.
What's wrong with it? That's awesome. You don't like them. That's good for you.
But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the right way. So like I have a really good friend, and it was his grandmother's recipe that's been passed down throughout his family, and he's like, I'll give you this recipe to make, but you can't share it with anybody, and you can't make it any different than exactly how I tell you. I'm like, cool. I'll make it exactly how your grandmother tells me to make it. And,
that's right. Like Mama made it.
Yeah. And the first time I ever made them, I gave them out to the restaurant. I had like a ton of customers try them, and everybody's like, these are the best collard greens I ever had. And I'm like, it tastes like grass to me.
No.
But, like, they can't get enough of it. They love the collard greens. I will do baked beans. I try not to, because I make refried beans from scratch, which take me 4 hours. They get fried in a quart of pig lard. But then, I do the cat head biscuits. I do traditional Georgia, the pig, the whole hog is Georgia based.
Right.
But I do offer it, and I make my own barbecue sauces. I did create a Georgia sweets barbecue sauce. I will put on the shelf outside for people if they want to put it on the barbecue, but I don't put it on.
Is that like blasphemy for you? Being in Texas, like someone puts sauce on barbecue, you're like,
You need to at least eat it first, but yes. The only barbecue sauce you'll ever catch me putting on meats for customers or for menu or for anything is I make a habanero mustard barbecue sauce. It's my signature. And I take dried habanero chilies and I grind them into a powder. Usually end up macing myself on accident every single time. But it is phenomenal on pork. Like, it's pork's best friend.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you definitely can taste when stuff is made with love. You know, it's something totally different. So what advice would you give someone that's wanting to start a food truck, from scratch? What would be your one piece of advice to give them?
Yeah, what's something you know now that you wish you knew at the get go?
Yeah. You better be really strong. You really need to get your ducks in a row before you start, because then it's going to make life a lot harder. I just jumped right in and I didn't have my ducks in a row first, which has made it harder to get up and running. And I've had to stop, and then now I have to go and then stop and go. You know, you really need to get that commissary kitchen in place first, if you're here in Georgia. Don't be afraid to just dive right in and make mistakes. And, you need to learn the ins and out of your generator, of towing it, of if you're driving it. You need to learn how to troubleshoot and fix things yourself quickly. I have a friend who runs Joe's Lone Star Tacos out here. He has a drivable food truck. If the engine has issues, he can jump out and he can fix the engine. He can fix a taillight. He can fix anything. He's not a mechanic. He's a chef. But if you're going to have a food truck, you need to learn how to fix everything very quickly yourself. I'm going through issues, but I used to have a husband that would help me fix everything. And I got thrown into the deep end really quickly. Like, okay, well, I better adapt, overcome quick, and learn. And it's, I'm better for it and I'm stronger for it. So learn those ins and outs really quickly and how to fix things yourself. It'll save you a lot of money.
That's definitely some good advice for the soon-to-be entrepreneurs out there watching or listening. Another important thing with the food trucks and food trailers is location, right? Location's a very key important, just like a menu. So what is some tricks and advice you got for finding the right location in Duke? Some people I know that I talk to, their friends, they like staying in the same spot and developing kind of that, following, and they know where you're going to be at all times. Are you kind of like that? Or do you kind of go with the flow? Are you chasing the events and festivals or?
I used to be, when I first got the truck, that's what I was going to try and do. I was going to try and stay in the same location Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I really was not even making $800 a day, and I'm used to making $2,000 to $3,000 a day, starting out. And so I really chased events. I chased festivals. But honestly, the money when it comes to food truck is in private catering, doing private events. You make a killing doing private events. It's definitely a big suggestion I would give any food truck operator.
So let me ask you, so you've done a bunch of events. I'm sure you met a bunch of really cool people, like you said. What has been your favorite event, and what has been an event, you don't have to give specifics or anything like that, but what has been something that has been one of your favorite events to go to every year, or something you want to repeat? And what's happened at another event that you're like, oh God?
So my favorite event every year is actually about to come up, and it's Grundle Run, Georgia Grundle Run. You can find it on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. So it's a 3-day event, and these bikers from all over the United States, Harley bikers from all over the United States, rent out a moonshine distillery campground. And this place is huge, acres upon acres. I want to say it's 50 to 100 acres, and it's got a lot of trees and woods and stuff like that. And then you got the moonshine distillery, and then over here you have a gigantic concert area. Well, it's 3 days of drunken debauchery. I'm not going to lie. They have wrestling. They have concerts. They have, they build this big ring, and they have the classic 90s style wrestling where it's more of the drama and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
And then they have motorcycle races, games, stuff like that. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Baby Sturgis, huh?
Huh?
It's a baby Sturgis?
Yeah, basically.
Baby Sturgis. Gotcha.
Yeah. But last year, I was the only food vendor It was 3 days feeding these guys for 3 days. So they ride in Friday afternoon, Friday evening. They camp out all in the trees. And then, so during the day, they're kind of sleeping and then they all come out of the trees. It's pretty cool. And then the Saturday, they go on a big ride. I get to feed them before they go out on the big ride. They come back by lunch. I feed them lunch, feed them dinner. And then Sunday, they're all leaving. And so I get to feed them breakfast. I generally do breakfast tacos. I take all my leftover smoked meats. I pull out the Blackstone and I throw together breakfast tacos, wrap it in foil, and they can just grab it, jump on the bike, and start going. Because most of them come from all over the United States, and they got to get back. So that's definitely my favorite event this year. It's on Friday the 13th, so September 13th. So it's a horror themed.
Sure.
Weekend this year.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I fit right in, clearly.
Oh, hey, that's awesome.
And the guys love me, and everybody brings their dogs too, because they're all camping out, and they have a motorcycle van show. Like the 70s vans that have lightning bolts painted on the side, and they'll have a van show. So everybody brings their really cool 70s vans, and you get to they have van show contest and all that. And it goes to a good cause. A lot of the money is donated to a local animal shelter. Cody, the guy who runs it, he's from Long Brother Choppers. They always make a big donation, and I make a big donation to local animal shelter. And then I guess worst events.
You ain't gotta say names, obviously, but what is something that
you have one? But I definitely don't like it when I'm very communicative with an event and my needs, and especially my needs to leave on time because I have other stuff to do. And then I'm, somebody's hosting this event and they don't want to make this person move to let me out because of whatever reason. And then it messes up future events. I run into that a lot. They don't realize that you've got a schedule to keep. You have other things. And then you've got to, as soon as this event's over, you got to get that trailer cleaned. You got to flipped over and you got to start cooking for the next day. And you're doing barbecue. It takes me 18 hours to make that brisket. I got to get going.
Sure.
Sure. So.
What, do you have prerequisites? Like when you go to events, hey, I need to sell, 50 plates, or I need to at least be 50 people there. Have you showed up to events? I talked to Rusty and he's talking about going to places and literally just being 15 people there.
Yeah, man, those suck.
I bet that have you had that scenario happen before you show up, or where the hell is everybody?
So, with my truck, I have a minimum. I will not come out without a $1,200 to $1,500 minimum, period.
Okay.
So if a brewery or a winery or whoever's asking me to come out and do their event, I have to make my minimum on that day. If I don't make my minimum that day, then they're responsible for paying me the difference.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I show up and I make $800 and I'm supposed to be guaranteed $1,500, paying me the difference.
Right.
Because I can't. It's so. You have to cover your staff. You have to cover my wood cost. I have to cover the diesel fuel of hauling that thing, an hour away. There's so much that I can't afford to lose. So I do have a guaranteed minimum to come out. And most food trucks here in Georgia do. $1,000 minimum is generally the norm for a burger truck, taco truck, whatever. But with me, the cost of my wood and everything like that, I have a little bit of a larger minimum.
I got you. Fair enough. All right, man. Well, last one. So word on the street is you have a possible TV, maybe I'll see you on TV coming up here soon, maybe, possibly.
Yes.
There is you there's something like that, like you talked about earlier, you said you're on the shyer side, something like that, a little nerve-wracking to you, or are you just kind of ready to get into it? I mean, what it'll do to, boost your publicity into the, to doing what your final goal. I mean, that's definitely got to offset the nerves.
I definitely want to do it because of my goal of where I want to be. And I need to grow. Honestly, I need to grow. I need to get out of that being shy. Right now I have two girls that run the window because I start getting anxiety talking to customer after customer after customer. And my hands will actually start shaking and I get like a little panicky. I don't know why. Because everybody wants to talk to the pitmaster. Everybody wants to talk to me. And, you know, it's helped me get out of my shell with the food truck because I am having to talk to people every time. So with the show coming up, you know, it is hard. I'm shy, but the biggest thing is cussing, watching my language.
Yes, family friendly.
Which is not me.
Hey, you can tell them to throw a TVMA on there. That'd be fine. Like everybody else has done that.
Yeah. But it's helping me grow as a pitmaster. It's helping me grow my business. And honestly, I'm really excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Right.
And then honestly, it's also about showing that I'm a female pitmaster and that there's more of us out there because there's really not a lot of us out there. And to represent that on TV, you know, I have daughters. I have 2 daughters that I raise, and I just want more girls out there to see people like me on that TV and know that they can do it too. You know? Yeah,
absolutely, man. Well, I mean, barbecue had this, you know, repetition of being a male dominant, you know, hobby or not hobby, but I mean, male dominant, you know, genre. And definitely it's great seeing, you know, strong women like you, you know, being out there and, because me and AJ both have daughters too. So we want strong female role models out there for our daughters to have something to watch as well and see that they can do it just like we can.
Yeah. But, if I'm ever cooking and I'm out, like, even if I'm not on the truck or like if I have any of my other smokers with me or if I'm doing a competition, if I have guys working for me on the truck, and we're all standing around, customer comes up and starts complimenting them on the barbecue and talking to them about what kind of pit they're running and what kind of wood they're using. And he's like, sorry, I have a cat named Fork and he's fucking jumping around. Fork and knife. But they'll always address the guy next to me first and start asking them what kind of pit they have and this and that. And the guy working for me, like, I don't know, you need to ask her. You know?
I bet that feels good. You're like, yeah. Well, that's I mean, you know, the bigger you grow and the more people like, you know, you and Sunny Moody and a lot of the Hey Girl Hey and Vanessa, all them girls, the more they get out there and show that they can do, you know, kick ass, like that whole mindset's going to change.
I just got to meet Sunny Moody at Atlanta Grill Company first week of May.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to meet her when she came down. And she is definitely an inspiration, especially with her daughters too and what she's doing. And she's a single mom raising all these daughters and she is kicking ass. She's going to the gym every day too. And she makes it look easy. And I definitely look up to people like her.
Yeah. You know? Sunny's a Right On Cue alumni. So we were happy to have her on here as well. So, but no, she is definitely kicking ass and taking names. And she is doing big things in the barbecue scene for sure. But well, on that note, I love that sound. DJ Cali, you the best. I've always wanted to say that. No, man, that means you're messing me up, AJ. That sound means it's time for our Brothers Cube Barbecue Supply lightning round, brought to you by Brothers Cube Barbecue Supply for all your barbecue needs. Check them out. They have a new website, brothersbarbecuesupply.com. All right, Chrissy, this is the time of the show. It's lightning round, where we ask you just short, quick questions. Don't think about it too much, and yeah, we'll get through it. Sounds good. All right, man. So when you're not working on kicking ass on the food truck, what is your favorite thing to cook at home?
Tacos.
I mean, gotta have tacos. If you're going on vacation, it's going to be at the beach or in the mountains?
Beach.
Thank you. What is one thing you always have on your trailer, and you cannot say your thermometer?
My cleaver. I can't live without my cleaver.
Big old meat cleaver. That's going to go really good at Grundlefest, man. You can be a little horror flick there. We went over the one. So, all right, if we could have a Chrissy, by the way, how do you say your last name? Is it Hutto?
Hutto.
So, I was right.
If you get on Wikipedia and Google Hutto, there's Hutto, Texas. My whole family's been in Texas for 200 years, and it's founded part of Texas. So it's Hutto, like Hutto, Texas.
Oh, awesome. Nice. That's better than mine. We're just like after the tree. Lame. Anyway. All right, man. So Chrissy, if we're having a theme song, like when you walk out somewhere, like what's that going to be? What songs you rocking out to?
Anything Danzig, She Rides. Anything Rammstein or Misfits.
Okay.
But Misfits, She or Danzig, She Rides.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So in the state of Texas, what is your favorite? Well, you think you said it already, but I'll ask you again. What is your favorite barbecue joint? If you could only eat one, what would it be?
Lavaca Barbecue.
Lavaca Barbecue. All right. Cool. Last question, and then we'll let you go. I appreciate you taking your time being with us today.
I really enjoyed it. It was nice to take a break from the smoker too.
I know, right? You got all showered up and everything.
I got in the air conditioning. Now I'm freezing.
All right. If you're not cooking barbecue, what is Chrissy cooking? Like what? Like if you're gonna do another truck and it can't be barbecue, what food truck would you do?
That's an excellent question.
That's the only ones I got.
Sure, Mexican food.
I thought you'd say that.
There you go.
Mexican food.
Smokin.
Even desserts too. I used to be a pastry chef. I got a big sweet tooth, but either something dessert or Mexican food.
All right.
Nice.
Well, now that you said pastry chef, I gotta know. All right, you're buying one candy bar. What's it gonna be?
Fuck. There's actually in the British aisle. It's called Honey Crumbles. It's from overseas. That's probably my favorite one. It's like a honeycomb based honey crumbles. It's a British candy bar. That's definitely my favorite.
Fair enough. That was the trick question. The only correct answer was Reese's.
That's my kids, man. Yeah, they're Halloween candy. If I ever go to get in it, you'll never see a Reese's in there. They take it all out and hide it before I can even get in there.
No. There's only one correct answer when it's what's the best candy, and that would be Reese's. And we will also accept Reese's.
That's the answer.
Frozen Reese's. That's it. All right.
Game changer.
That's another one of those moments. Like no, but Chrissy, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I cannot wait to see you on the big screen. We'll be cheering you on here Right on Cue. Don't forget us little folk whenever you get big.
I'll give you a shout. Absolutely.
We'll
come back on again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have you on again. But hey, let people know where they can find you, your socials, and where you're going to be. I'll see you at Grundle Fest if you're going to be Harley Davidson or any other motorcycle besides the Crotch Rocket. Make sure you check Chrissy out down there in Georgia. But let people know.
So Facebook, I'm at the Smokin Texan 777, and then I'm on Instagram, the Smokin Texan again. I do not have a TikTok for my business page yet. I really need to make one. And then my website is the smokintexanga.com, and you can follow along. I always announce where I'm going to be a week ahead of time. I announce my menu a week ahead of time with my special themed item that you can only get at that one event, so you can show up ahead of time and stand in line.
That's right. Awesome. She is not like Burger King. You cannot have it your way. You have it her way. So
Absolutely.
make sure you check out
the way I make it first.
That's right. And make sure you always check her out before you come out. I know I cannot wait because you're in the Canton area, right? Or what part of Georgia?
I'm in Canton, Georgia. So North Georgia.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be in that area at some point for the competition. I'll definitely have to seek you out and try your food. I cannot wait.
Are y'all coming down for Pigs and Peaches?
Yeah.
There.
Oh man, I'm trying to get in, but they were booked up. But AJ will have to let me know how it goes. But Chrissy, I appreciate it, and we just got these in. So guess what? You're going to be the first recipient of the Right on Cue holographic sticker. So I'll have to send me your information after the show, and I will get that sent over to you.
It's going to go right on the truck with all my other barbecue stickers.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll put it on the front window instead of inside the truck. I'll put it on the front window so when everybody comes up, they'll be where they can see it.
That's awesome.
It'll actually match the pig and whiskey sticker that I've got.
Oh, those are good dudes too.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are great guys too.
Yeah.
All right.
Really
Well,
great with them.
hey, thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for having me on.
Anyway.
See ya. All right, man. That was it. That's our show. That's a heck of a way to kick off the food truck month. We got some great people coming up this month. I can't wait to announce that here coming up very soon. AJ, you got big plans for the Thursday? You gonna go? So you got fireworks bought yet?
Not yet, man. We usually buy them on Thursday. We kind of last minute, but we'll probably buy them on Thursday and just have a good time with family.
That's awesome, man. I am the anti-redneck. I go cheap and I find somewhere to shoot off fireworks. That's outrageous, but
yeah, it is, man.
But no, man, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. And like I said, I will if you ever see us out and about, like I said, find AJ and we will hook you up with some Right On Cue merch and stickers. I'm getting some hats and some shirts made up, so you have to stick around to find out. But man, AJ, you got anything else you want to say?
Oh man, just keep on smoking, man. We'll see y'all on the trail.
All right, man. Well, as always, America first, America last, America always. And when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue.
I don't care.
See you guys.
That's all, folks.